What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC, USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 15th of July. Here we are with about 8 hours, 41 minutes left in the day with a very mighty candle to the downside here. 2.9% down. Overall, guys, we've moved down like 6%, I think, from the high to the low. 6% there over the last less than 48 hours. Crazy movements for Bitcoin. A less than 3% day so far to the downside. That doesn't sound that big, but if you look through time, like really since, going back to May, going back to April even, that's a pretty big candle to the downside. We don't get that too often, right? Here, there, and typically these big candles to the downside, they get eaten back up. So do anticipate, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but do anticipate that we will rip and be at new all-time highs probably by the end of this week, right? I doubt that this is a prolonged experience. This is definitely a shakeout. We've been expecting a shakeout, right? I thought that it would happen. I thought in my head it would make more sense to be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday shakeout, but we're getting it on a Monday, Tuesday shakeout. And it looks like that Monday dump, Tuesday dump actually came through after all. I don't think it stops here. But let's go over some stuff real quick, okay? If we're looking at the one-day Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, yesterday, you guys, we had like $1.5 billion in shorts all the way back here to like 130K, right? Now it's almost $6 billion. $6 billion. You guys, we've got $3 billion just to 120K alone. Crazy amount of shorts have gotten piled on. And we've continued to move down even though these shorts have been continued to get piled on. We have a lot of longs to clear out. We're at 116K right now, 114.6K. We clear out $1.58 billion worth of longs that we've piled on in the last 24 hours alone. But here's the deal. This is kind of misleading. If you look at it on the one-day time frame, yes, it's more up to date. It's more, relative to the last 24 hours. But if we go over the last 7 days, why is the last 7 days relevant? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago, we were not yet at new all-time highs. Well, I guess technically we tipped it, right? Over the last 7 days, this is when this move really started, this move up that we had. So over the last 7 days, if we look here, the balance, the scales have shifted. There's actually way more longs to go. If you're looking at the one-day time frame and thinking, oh, but look at all the shorts. Well, yes, there are a lot of shorts. A lot of shorts have gotten piled on, you guys. We got over almost $7 billion worth of shorts to clear out once we get to 130K. But we're at 116K right now. 114 and a half, and we're clearing out $3.8 billion of longs, of schlongs. We're going to clear out those schlongs real hard, man. Oh, man. That's my expectation, at least. We don't cut all the way through the forest just to stop here. No, we're going to clear it all out, and we'll probably even go lower. And here's the deal. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I've been through a shakeout or two. I've been through a little shaky in my day, in my 10 years in this crypto market. And typically, these shakeouts, they're very much designed to scare you, okay? Right now, whenever I look at x.com, whenever I'm watching YouTube, whenever I'm hearing everybody, buy the dip, don't be scared, this is just a shakeout, right? This is no big deal, go long, buy now, like all that stuff. And that's great, that's very encouraging, right? Nobody's dissuaded by this. We need the dissuasion. We need people to be scared. And I'm sure there's some novices, some new people, amateurs who are, and I don't mean that in an insulting way, I just mean like you're brand new in the space. That's amateur means that you have little experience, right? So I just mean people with little experience in the space are probably scared. But we need some like big accounts to crap their pants. We need some big accounts to say, hey, this is a fake out. We're going down. Now Bitcoin's going to go back below 100K. We need some people to get scared. I want to see the crypto fear and greed index. Let's see here if it will load for me. It could load for you too. It's not loading. Okay, well, we're gonna type it. Let's go over here. Hold on. Coin market cap. That fear and greed index is at like a 70 right now. What's going on? Why is it not doing anything? Oh, oops, I didn't mean to delete both of those. That's okay. We don't really need that. I think we made the point with the liquidation map already. That was weird. It wasn't loading, right? But now it's like still having problems, but not having too many problems. 70, yeah. Once this comes down a little bit on CoinMarketCap, I trust this one a little bit more than the alternative.me. If you guys know that the fear and greed index that a lot of OGs use in the space, it's alternate.me. I think this one's more proactive. I think this one has a better representation. But anyways, once that comes down, once people are freaking out, right now everybody's like, it's a shakeout. Clearly this is a shakeout. We needed to get to the point where people are like, oh God, maybe that was the high. Maybe that was the top. Maybe that's it, you guys. We're going down. You know, we need a little bit of freaking out in the market. So I think to get there, we're going to have to drop a little bit lower, at least to where those liquidations were, which, you know what, I'm actually going to pull it up again because I think we need to see the 30-day. We didn't even get to the 30-day. There's more liquidations to be had on the long side that have just been formed, not just over the last 7 days, but over the last 30 days as well. Liquidation map. That was my wife. If you guys heard that sneeze. Let's see here. I definitely believe that we're going to keep dropping, though. Now, if you asked me yesterday where are we going to go to, I wouldn't have assumed that we'd go all the way down to our all-time highs. But at this point in time, I'm kind of assuming we could. We could go down to our prior all-time highs. I should say. Our all-time highs are here. We're not going to go down to our all-time highs, right? I'm assuming that we could. We could go down to 112K, maybe even 110K. Wouldn't that freak people out? Because Bitcoin, again, as I said up here, it's not normal for Bitcoin to, once it breaks out of new all-time highs, to back test and go below the all-time highs. That's not normal. And I'm not the only person that knows that, right? I'm not the only person who's got experience in the markets who knows that. So that, something like that might be what it takes. There are a lot of people going long, you guys. A lot of people going long indeed. And that, let's see, let's get the 30-day on there. Why is it taking so long? I'm just going to turn up the performance real quick. Okay, no, we don't need that. Okay, cool. Yeah, look at that. The shorts are piling on too. Absolutely they are. But there's about another, $3 billion worth of longs to, and probably even more than that, to clear out at about 113, 114K. So going down there, looks like we have a gap in the liquidity there. I doubt that we're going to go all the way down to 103K or 110K, 107K. I doubt that we go all the way down there, but maybe it's possible. At that point in time, we clear out all these longs. There should be some shorts really piled up, and there are right now some shorts that are really piled up. And I think that will help drive the price back up, right? These guys are going to hunt for anybody that's over leveraged in positions that they shouldn't be in. And well, that's what we're doing now. We're hunting. We're hunting all the longs, all the bulls right now with their pants around their ankles. We're hunting them. If we're looking at this here from a high to a low, enough talking, enough story time. We hit the golden ratio. We did this very classic thing, this classic endeavor that Bitcoin likes to do, which is to wick just above the golden ratio here. It likes to wick just above the golden ratio and then find resistance and come down. Typically, if you find resistance at the golden ratio, you will find support at the 1272. If you don't find support at the 1272, you go down to the 100 or 786 area, something in this area here, which is between about $109,000 to $112,000, to be completely fair. Now, Bitcoin's done a lot of squirrely things with its fib extensions lately. It's very possible that it doesn't go all the way down here. If enough shorts pile on, if the shorter term time frames are looking bullish, all that stuff. But let's get into that, right? Looking at the 1 hour time frame here. This 1 hour here. Oh, I didn't mean to have the brush on there. 1 hour time frame. We actually did just close with a very bearish engulfing candle. Volume is building as we're going lower. To me, that says we're not stopping here, right? Let's look at the other side. Let's look at how things went whenever we were moving up, right? Here, whenever we were moving up, a lot of volume came in. As we're moving up here, volume started to die off, okay? And then as we're moving up to our high, volume was basically absent. So what did? We rolled over. We started to move up, and what happened? Volume came back in. That's good. And then we moved up higher, volume came back in. But as we moved higher, volume was decreasing, right? It got to a lower level than even this initial move up here at the very top. So we started to roll over. Now what happens when we're rolling over? Volume's picking up. Volume's picking up. Volume is still picking up as we're dropping down. And we just had the biggest red candle that we've seen throughout this whole drop. It just happened over the last hour. Well, the last hour and a half, technically. And I just don't think that it stops here. That engulfed this whole range. This whole consolidation range got engulfed, you guys. We couldn't even backtest this prior area of support for resistance. I think I remember looking at this. We didn't even stop in an area. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to stop there. You don't normally do this and then go lower. The fact that you did, this is bearish stuff. And I think it smells like cigarettes. Oh, I gotta go shut my door because someone's smoking cigarettes. Nope. No, I was like, nobody. I didn't know if any of my neighbors smoked cigarettes, but it's just the onion rings in my oven that apparently smell like cigarettes to me. It's no tobaccos there, but anyways, and shout out to all the smokers, but I don't smoke tobacco, man. It messes with me, or any kind of tobacco, snooze, snuff, chew, whatever. It makes me throw up, all of it. Even like just regular cigarettes. Like I just have a weak. I'm I'm not gonna actually. I'm not gonna say that, but let's just say I have a very weak stomach whenever it comes to tobacco for whatever reason, and I shouldn't be. I'm like actually I shouldn't be, but anyways, $116,000 right now. 31 minutes left in this 1 hour candle. I do think that we're gonna go lower. Bouncing here off the oversold zone, finding higher lows here looks kind of bullish. I would assume that that might pile on some longs. Let's see if any longs have piled on since, no, I guess a couple have actually piled off. Maybe if anything, we've piled on some shorts. And it's possible that, we could dilly-dally first. Maybe we come back up here, find some resistance, and then go lower. But I doubt that we get back above 116.7K before going lower. Now, how low are we going to go? That's the question, really. That really is the question. We could find support right there at about 100. I mean, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. 113.7K. That's right there, right below that 114K level, which typically, not always, but typically when you clear out a massive liquidity zone like this, you do push through a little bit more, because as we go further down the line, as we clear out the brush here, people will still pile on longs over here too. And the further we move down, the more those get shaken out. And it wouldn't be crazy at all if Bitcoin found support here. Now, that is a kind of small and obscure area, but 113.7K might be where we go, you guys. If not there, if we don't find support there, then perhaps the bottom of this range at 112.9, so 113K there. And if not there, I would think we go all the way back down, man, to about 112K, just below 112K there. So any and all of those targets are on the radar right now. That's my expectation. The only way that I would change my stance from a bearish stance to a bullish stance is, and like where I would go long personally, I'm going to, first off, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, nobody should leverage trade, right? But I'm going to go long here in this zone, right? Probably layer in as I go. I think that's a good way to do it. But if instead the price goes here, up here like this, and gets above the nipple there, then I will probably shift my stance, right, and look for a good entry there. I don't think anybody has any business shorting the market right now, man. There's too many shorts to the upside to get liquidated, to get hunted out for anybody to be doing that. But I mean, do what you want to do. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I just don't think it's a good idea. Really, I think that anybody and everybody watching this should probably just stay away from leverage trading as a whole. But it's not good for you. It's not good to do. Looking at this here, very volatile 4-hour candle. Something like this, if we were just imagining in 29 minutes whenever it closes, if it were to come back up and close neutral, it'd actually be like an even tit for tat wick on either side, which sometimes happens. But I would just think, again, after this 1-hour candle here like that, I don't think that we're going to come back up. I think this is the beginning of the end, or maybe it's the beginning of the end, right? Or we're at that last little part of this move down. You got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then once we find that fifth wave, boom, that'll be that, and then we'll move on up. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say, you guys. Oh yes, let's look at this actually, the daily time frame real quick. I think this is important, right, to keep in mind here. Whenever we got overbought over here, we actually got overbought and found resistance at the same level. Now, I thought that we would push higher. I thought that we were looking like we were going to push higher, but with yesterday's rejection, we actually found resistance at this exact same area. Now, we might, with that in mind, find support at the same area that we found support before, the 60, or perhaps even lower, right? If people are watching the RSI, they might have the same predisposition that I do. And again, the point of these shakeouts is to scare people. It might scare more people if we're a little bit lower than that, so a little bit more of a move than what we saw here last time. But basically between here, a little bit lower, anywhere in here, this is an area that we'd find support. I would expect that the daily close results in the RSI getting out of the overbought zone, which this is a good thing, my friends. It's a good thing to get out of the overbought zone after being overbought, right? What we want to do next is get back into the overbought zone. Once we get back into the overbought zone, I'm assuming Bitcoin's going to go on a run that takes us to higher readings in the RSI than it did here, and with that, we'll probably see the 90s. If we're getting out of the overbought zone and then producing a stronger reading afterwards, I'm essentially expecting a stronger move than what we just saw. So from here, from a low to a high, we moved up almost $16,000, right? If our low, let's just say our low is at about 114K just below there, right at the top area of that obscure kind of consolidation phase, I would think that in a very, very short amount of time, certainly by the end of the month, we'll be well above 130K, you guys. The next stop is going to be at prices above 130K. And if we look at this from a high to a low, come on now, give me the low. You know, our 2272 is right there at 132K. I wouldn't be surprised if this next move was a little bit bigger than the first move here, the first breakout. So I'm calling for, you know, after we find support, wherever it is, whether it's here, whether it's a little bit lower, wherever it is, we're probably going to see prices that are up at like 133K or more before our next kind of volatile shakeout moment. And that should happen by the end of the month. I actually think we'll even be higher than that by the end of the month, but that'll be our next kind of shakeout point. Anyways, guys, I got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves, and stay safe out there, man. It is a wicked, wicked volatile time indeed in crypto. All right, bye-bye.